Hello, 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 and welcome to my channel. If you are new, my name is Shelly, and this channel is all about books, if you didn't notice. And we speak about everything. It'll be a book review, it'll be a book scandal, it'll be everything. And today we're diving into one of the most transformative and controversial topics in modern literature, and that is artificial intelligence. From AI generated books to dilemmas that arise from using AI to write books. AI is really reshaping the literary world. But while AI offers opportunities for innovation and even efficiency, it also raises significant ethical concerns because with this innovation comes a host of challenges. There's fraud, there's impersonation, there's even questions about creativity itself. And so today we will be exploring the ethics of AI and its impact on authors, on readers, and the publishing ecosystem as a whole. But before we actually get into it, last week with our last video, I spoke about wanting a way to still share reviews, but not dedicate an entire video to those reviews. And we're continuing with that today with our next book in this segment, and that is Isserus, House of Power by A.A. Smith. Now, I will mention that this was sent to me by an author, so this is a paid sponsorship, but you guys know that I'm still going to keep it real with you regardless. So don't even worry about it. I'll let you guys know the real, and the gritty, whatever. So let's talk about it. If I had to sum up this book in one word, it would be intense. From the very first page, this story drags you into a world of magic, war, and a protagonist, Mora, who honestly, she can't catch a break. You know, when you're reading a book about a character and you start to feel sympathy, whether or not the character is real, you're just like, okay, if you just need a rest day because they're hitting you from every angle. The world building, I would say that the world building was really, really good. I was just like, okay, I'm really, really enjoying this. It takes you from quiet, crumbling village of Wien to the overwhelming chaos of Alia City. And the contrast between these two places, chef's kiss, absolutely brilliantly done. Now, I really, really enjoyed it because it's vivid, it's gritty, and at times it's downright terrifying. So you have like we start in Wien. Like I said, it's basically like crumbling. Just think of a place that's been affected by war, and then you have Alia City. And if you want to picture it, think of New York, but on steroids. It's glamorous, but completely, I would imagine, suffocating. Now, I haven't been to New York, but we've watched enough shows, enough movies, we've read enough books to know what the vibe of New York is. Believe me, it's that on steroids, but I love it so much. Now, Mora, our protagonist, she's the definition of perseverance. Like I said, she's getting hit at all angles. She's been through bombing, she's been through political chaos, and basically the constant feeling of inadequacy because in this world, that has magic, her magic is, well, let's just say it's not up to par with everyone else's, but that's, I think, what makes her so compelling. She's messy, she's flawed, and she's trying so hard to find her place in a world that feels like it's actively rejecting her. And you just want to root for her. You're just like, you know what, you're not going to give up more, you're going to make it, don't give up. And that's the sense that you get throughout this entire book. Now, one thing I will tell you guys is the pacing can be uneven. You guys know me, I'm a fan of fast-paced books, and for like fantasies, I always believe a fantasy should be fast-paced, with some exceptions. And with this book, I felt like it was uneven because there's a lot of introspection that slows things down. But when the action hits, it hits hard, believe me. So there's like a scene with a fight between casters that's literally like so intense. It had me holding my breath. And don't even get me started on that mysterious animal with glowing fur. Like, please, I still don't know what's going on with that, but I'm intrigued. You got your girl interested here. But overall, I will say that Isserus, House of Power, like, honestly, I don't know. Do I call it House of Power or do I call it Isserus? It's really, really, it's a thrilling, emotional ride. And you guys know I love a bit of a thrill, but I love my fantasy. So if you love worlds that, are really kind of rich and characters that have this complexity to them and, just a bit of mystery, a little sprinkle of mystery, then I think you should definitely give this a try. Mora's journey, from what I've seen in the book, it seems like it's just beginning. So I, for one, can't wait to see where it goes. Now, I know this probably wasn't 60, 90 seconds, but just like last time, you guys know I am a yapper and I just love to keep it coming. But like I said, pick up the book. It was fun. And I do kind of hope we get to continue on with more. I think it'll be a really, really fun journey. But let us get back to the topic at hand, which is AI. And speaking of AI, I want us to first start with basically what we're seeing now, which is the rise of AI in publishing. So AI has its not just in publishing, but in the world itself, it's become a powerful tool for everything. Like AI has been incorporated in so many workspaces. I remember working at a bank and they use AI to help us, when we were contacted by customers. It did make things efficient, I will say. And AI has also become a powerful tool in publishing, or it's becoming a powerful tool in publishing. It, from the generating text to predicting market trends, which a lot of companies use, and publishing is doing the same. AI is helping. It's helping authors. It's helping publishers. It's helping them to streamline the processes like editing, marketing, even audiobook narration. Which, when I was going through the research for this, I was just like, you know what? Okay, let me hear about it. For indie authors especially, I feel like AI offers like exciting opportunities because you have a lot of tools. Obviously, we know ChatGPT, but there are also a lot of specifically AI writing tools that can help to brainstorm ideas for books. It helps like to refine drafts or create promotional materials. And when you're an indie author and you don't have an entire team, an entire publishing house backing you, that can really help to make your life just a bit more easier. So I can definitely see where AI is definitely offering indie authors a bit more in terms of like getting their book out there and making the process easier for them. However, there's always a however in things like this. This convenience comes with risk. We all know this. So AI generated content, it often lacks originality and can inadvertently plagiarize other works. So you can be asking AI, oh, can you read this draft? Can you help me with this draft? Well, what happens is that you've now put your work out there, your unreleased work, and it's now in their system. And so obviously they can now use it. And obviously with other books that have been in the world for ages, because, we're now in a digital world, everything's online. AI is snatching and grabbing, baby, snatching and grabbing because it isn't a human. It has to take its information from somewhere. And while that makes it a particularly knowledgeable source for quite a lot, especially if you're doing things like editing, like does this grammar sound all right? Is this accurate to this scene, to this place? While that's really helpful, you definitely do risk plagiarizing someone else's work while you were just trying to help yourself out. Now, I know some people are probably just wicked and they're definitely trying to plagiarize other people's work, but for a lot of indie authors, I'm very much sure that is not the case. But with that topic, I want to speak about like AI generated books and author impersonation, because one of the most alarming developments is the rise of AI masquerading as works by real authors. And this next case that we're going to speak about, when I first heard about it, I was just like, that's creepy. That's very, very creepy. Basically, in 2023, so long. In 2023, the author Jane Friedman, she became a victim of this trend when poorly written AI generated books were falsely attributed to her on Amazon. Amazon, and this is why we will continue to find beef with Amazon in its entirety. Sometimes we just can't help using Amazon. Like I use Amazon to obviously sell my reading journals, print and sell my reading journals. They're really, really awesome. If you guys want to take a look, I had a whole video basically like discussing this. Especially when you're self-published, Amazon might be the only place that you can do certain things. And, you have to do what you have to do. But they're so grimy sometimes because basically they refused initially to act until public outrage literally forced them to remove the fake books. Why did the public need to be outraged? This author has said, these are not my works, and it's masquerading under my name, obviously, and they were poorly written as well. So now they're tarnishing her reputation. And Amazon was just like, and we really, really thank God for public outrage and for the public actually standing behind her. I really do love when social justice works for good, because obviously Amazon finally did take them down, but this incident highlighted the major gap in platform accountability and raised concerns about how easily AI can be weaponized to harm reputations and just harm people in the literature community, because there there were people who bought those terrible books. So you wasted money, and honestly, reading a terrible book is not the best of experiences. You're just like, that's effort, that's time, that's a lot. So it hurt a lot of people in this situation. And so it's definitely not the best thing at all. And so obviously there are quite a lot of ethical concerns when it comes to AI, especially around our authorship, because AI's ability to generate entire books has sparked debates about what it means to be an author. And literally, our last video, we spoke about this in terms of like ghostwriting and celebrity authors, because obviously with ghostwriting and with some recent ghostwriting books that came out by celebrities, that sparked conversation about what it means to be an author. But in that instance, obviously, we saw where the line was becoming very blurred. And in this instance, you would think it would be a simple, AI is a computer. It's definitely not an author. But the question is actually, should an AI generated book credit its human user as the author? And I'm just like, is this something we are actually speaking about? Or should it acknowledge the tool itself? And not just that, because I always think about the benefits of AI, because you can use AI for great things. And like I said, for indie authors, I can understand them wanting to use AI to help themselves, because if you cannot afford a developmental editor or any other forms of editing, then AI might be able to help you with that, or even maybe help you to fact check certain things, or maybe even help you with generating ideas. But then there's definitely the line between, did AI simply help you generate ideas, or did you get AI to write this? And so I definitely think the line should be a very, very clear line, but we've seen how lines get blurred very, very easily. Now, the Alliance of Independent Authors, it has issued ethical guidelines urging transparency. So authors are encouraged to disclose their use of AI tools and ensure that any generated content is carefully edited for accuracy and originality. So this kind of transparency, we know that, well, I hope we know that it's essential for maintaining trust between authors and readers. But we know that this world isn't always the best. And so while the Alliance of Independent Authors has called for this transparency and for this act when publishing books, how can we guarantee that authors are definitely abiding by that? Genuinely, this is a question that even I have. I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know what answer to give you, because it's hard. Obviously, we know that there are certain books or certain things that you read and you're just like, it's giving AI. It's really, really giving AI. But certain things you can't. You're just like I said, there are whole books out there. But with all of that, we now really have to speak about the governance of AI in publishing. We obviously saw the debacle with Amazon. But like I said, AI is a tool that is being used in publishing, not just publishing, but in several industries. AI is definitely here to stay. We cannot reject it. We cannot deny it. It's only going to grow further. And so we cannot just be in denial and act like it's not going to stay. It is here to stay. So the best thing that we can do is more so discuss the governance of AI in publishing. How can we ensure that this doesn't ruin what we know the publishing industry to be? How can we ensure that we keep the integrity of authorship, of literature, the way it is, while still using AI tools? So to address these challenges, experts are calling for stronger governance in how AI is used in publishing, which includes setting ethical guidelines, implementing bias detection tools, and requiring human oversight for all AI generated content. Now, I think these are really, really good ideas that these experts have presented, especially the bias detection tools. But the bias detection tools are interesting because bias detection tools, a lot of them basically use AI. They basically use AI. And so using AI to detect AI, I always find that I know that AI can detect itself, but I'm so sorry. There are a lot of instances where AI will not detect the use of AI. And then what happens? Obviously, with human oversight, that might help, but a human might not always be able to detect that this sounds like AI. And so it's very, very difficult. But I know that a lot of people, they're just like, these are some of the best ways that we can definitely ensure that there's more governance. For example, publishers People say that publishers could establish workflows where editors review every piece of AI generated content before publication so that it not only ensures quality but also protects against bias or harmful output. And I feel like this is just bringing me to the Fable incident of a couple of weeks ago. I don't use Fable, but the thing is, I was recommending people use Fable because we all know that we're not really messing with Goodreads like that. I use Storygraph, but I'm just like, for those people who don't use Storygraph, I've heard Fable is a good place because I know a lot of people who use Fable and they vouch for Fable. So because I trust them, I'm obviously going to tell you to try out Fable as well. And then they had the whole debacle with their year-end reader, whatever. Like, I don't know what I like I said, I do not have Fable, but it was basically giving everyone who uses the app like an archetype of sorts about what type of reader they are. And it was not pretty. It was not cute. It was it was giving into harmful stereotypes. It was basically rude. And obviously people started to complain. And we know this. We know that this is an issue that can happen with AI, where depending on what you input into AI, it's going to output something of the same caliber, of the same tone of voice. And so I know that some books, especially when it comes to the reviews that some books receive, if AI is reading the reviews of certain books and those are other types of books that you read, we're not going to speak about the quality of the book. We're just speaking about what AI is taking in. Of course, AI might spout out some very, very rude, indecent things. So the Fable situation didn't surprise me. I haven't spoken about it because, like I said, I'm not on Fable. I don't have the full breadth of it. I'm just like, I can do my research, but in that situation, I felt like I need to use that app. I need to actually have seen it produce the chaos. And I haven't seen too many people speaking about it. So even if I wanted to do as much research as possible, there was not too much for me to source from. And I was just like, okay, I feel like those who are speaking on it, you guys are doing a great job. Keep speaking on it because there was not much for me to say on that at all. But it was just proof of obviously like the dangers of AI, which is why it is really important that we do have like people reviewing a lot of things so it protects from bias and harmful output, like people are saying as one of the solutions. But you end up like that. You end up with that even with people checking because you can't check everything. That's one of the reasons why we use AI. We're humans. We don't have the capacity to do as much as a computer, unfortunately. But yeah, it definitely is really, really hard when you think about it, when you're trying to think of very viable solutions, because there will be limits. There will definitely be limits to what we can do, but I definitely appreciate that people are taking, an active stance. They're taking active move. They're making active moves to ensure that we're not caught up in this mess ever again, or we're not caught up in, the mess like with the plagiarizing. I don't know which AI plagiarized Jane's books, but we don't get caught up too much in messes like that. Now, another thing that is very, very worrisome to a lot of people is the impact on creativity in human writers. Because with AI coming into the game, what does it mean for human writers? What does it mean for creativity? I know this is not just a question that has appeared in the publishing world and the literary industry, because in so many industries, people are saying, a computer's stealing my job. With AI, what am I going to do? It basically does all I do. And now it's entered into the publishing space because critics are arguing that relying on AI could devalue human artistry. And I can definitely see that because when I first got introduced to AI, when I say introduced, I mean like ChatGPT, asking simple questions. I simply thought that, you can ask questions and it can give you a text response. But, and that's as far as like my AI goes, my AI use goes, really, just simple questions. But there are different types of AI. You can make videos, you can make photos, you can actually create art. And people have been catching out a lot of fake artists in terms of like pictures that were produced by AI. But then AI, as we know, takes from others. And there was a whole discussion, whole debacle about publishers using AI art. And obviously, artists would recognize their art being used as, some of the AI art. And they're just like, I'm not getting credit for this, which means I'm not getting paid for this, which means you literally ripped off, plagiarized my work, and I didn't get any credit. And you have that because publishing, remember, we always say we recognize that publishing is in industry. Publishing is a business like any other. Its goal is to make a profit, its goal is to make money. And so, of course, in terms of finding a way to save money, if I could get AI to be making art instead, I believe that's what they're thinking and that's what happens. But where's the creativity? One of the best things about art is the fact that art being created will always, it will always be different, and that's so beautiful because our minds are different, the way we think is different, the experiences that we've all had, they're different. And so when we produce a piece of art, whether that be music, whether that be, a painting, whether that be a sculpture, obviously we would have been impacted by a lot of things. We would have taken inspiration by people who came before us. And so you might see the inspiration on the art that we produce, in the art that we produce. But it is still our interpretation and obviously the input of everything that we've gone through that then makes that piece of art. And you can clearly tell, you can look at a piece of art, a piece of like a painting, and say, I can tell that this is inspired by, or it takes inspiration from the works of this person or the works of that person, but it still has its distinct handprint. But then now, if we're using AI, what happens to that creativity? Same with writing. Same with writing books. You can read so many books and even speak to authors, and they can tell you, one of my favorite authors from my childhood was this person, and a lot of my works are inspired by how they wrote this book, or I take inspiration from their language in the book and how they create worlds, so many things. But obviously it still has their distinct handprint when they're writing their own works. But now, if anyone can generate a novel with just a few clicks, does that cheapen the work of traditional authors? Personally, I say yes. Okay, I know some people might not agree with me. They're just like, well, you know what? You would have to put a lot of prompts into the AI to create it. So no, it's actually like, you can say all you want, but if you are writing an entire book with AI, I'm so sorry, that cheapens it. That dampens the beauty of art itself. I'm so sorry. Take inspiration, get help, correct your grammar, correct everything that you need to, but let the writing be yours. Let the writing be yours. But you guys know I like to be very, very unbiased for the most part. But I'll let you guys know what I think, because let's be real. I'm with the people on the flip side who see AI as kind of destructive in some ways. But the thing is that there's that side, there's me, and then you have the other side, because the other side, they're seeing AI as a collaborative tool, just like ghostwriting, rather than a replacement for human creativity. Because by automating certain things, writers can focus more on what they want to focus on. But you know what? In those instances that people are speaking about where AI is doing the things like proofreading or formatting, I agree with that. I agree with that. Like I said, correct your grammar, correct your spelling, correct all of that stuff. Get AI to proofread it. It's read basically every book that's online. And so it knows what to look out for. But if you are writing the entire book with generative AI, I'm so sorry. I'm on the side of that cheapens that work. It cheapens the work because the work in itself is kind of like cheap. You didn't write anything. But in terms of the question, does using AI to help with formatting, to help with proofreading, to help with minuscule edits, does that cheapen the work? I don't believe it cheapens the work. I believe you're doing something that can help you, especially if you do not have the funds, the budgets, like a lot of authors don't, to do those tasks. Now, there's also the topic of reader trust and market implications. So AI's influence, obviously it extends to readers. We've been speaking about like authors using AI to do this and that, but it extends to readers because personalized recommendations powered by algorithms now drive over 35% of online book sales. Storygraph is one of the platforms that actually uses AI in this way, and I think it's a brilliant idea. Basically, with Storygraph, I told you guys before that you can actually input your reads from Goodreads into Storygraph. So you can take your account data and it will literally import everything from Goodreads. I love that they did that. And it's amazing because if you have a good history on Goodreads, the AI of Storygraph will then be able to tell the type of books that you like, type of books that you read, and it will then start recommending to you. So there's a, on the like home tab of Storygraph, it gives you personalized recommendations. And the funny thing about this is I know that the AI is definitely working its butt off, because a lot of the recommendations are books that I already had on my wish list, are books that I read but just wasn't on my Goodreads. So I'm just like, okay, you're actually good at what you do, to be fair. And like I said, it is responsible for all those book sales because you get these recommendations and you go and buy a book. So it's great, right? But while this improves engagement, it also raises concerns about monopolizing reader attention towards specific genres or authors. Because as we know, there are certain genres that are just more popular, or the people on certain apps mostly read a certain genre. Let's be real. Goodreads is for the romance girlies, romantasy girlies. You probably won't find too many, like you'll find a lot of people, but then there are certain genres that have the most reviews, that have the most engagement. And so, yeah, there is some bias there. So there is that danger there in terms of like what you will get recommended. Moreover, the flood of low quality AI generated books, it risks overwhelming readers with subpar content. And I know that we've spoken about subpar content coming out more and more these days. And it's kind of sad because AI is just giving into that more and more, because platforms like Amazon, they don't care. While we say and we know and we shout at them that they must take accountability, they must take responsibility for curating their offerings to maintain the trust of readers, Amazon don't be caring like that. They don't be caring about us like that. And I've told you guys this several times. They don't be caring for us like that. Like I always say, take advantage of them where you can, especially for the indie authors. Use that KDP, get as much from Amazon as you can. But it's hard. It's definitely hard because Amazon kind of sucks. But now we really have to think about the future going forward, because like I said, AI is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. But we have to look to the future and look to a future that balances innovation with ethics. We have to include AI because it's not going anywhere, but we have to include it in a way that is ethical, because we can look at AI and be upset, but what we really have to do is ask, where do we go from here? The future of publishing, in my humble opinion, it lies in balancing those two. It lies in balancing innovation with ethical responsibility. These glasses just won't stay on today. To be fair, they barely ever stay on, but they're so cute. But by adopting transparent practices, enforcing stricter regulations against fraud, and prioritizing human oversight 100%, and just prioritizing the humans in all of this on a whole, I know that the publishing industry can definitely harness AI's potential without compromising the integrity of literature. Now, as readers, I always say that we definitely hold a lot of power because we play a role in what we support, because publishing will take from what we like. And so we should start, or continue if you've already been doing it, supporting voices and holding platforms like Amazon. I'm so sorry. I'm going to keep naming and shaming them because they're one of the main platforms that are being problematic. We should be holding platforms like Amazon accountable for their policies. Like, it shouldn't take us bullying you, and Amazon deserves to be bullying. I don't believe in bullying, but in certain instances, Amazon deserves bullying. It shouldn't take us bullying you for you to behave well. Like, just start behaving genuinely. But with all of that said, I can just say that AI, like I said, it's here to stay. It's reshaping publishing. But the ways in which it's reshaping publishing, the profound ways in which it's reshaping publishing, it's exciting in some ways, but it's also unsettling in others. So whether it's empowering indie authors and giving them more help in order to produce good works, and obviously sparing their wallets because they don't have a whole publishing company's budget to back them, or even like creating new ethical dilemmas around authorship, one thing is clear. We have to really navigate this AI revolution thoughtfully. And I think once again, if readers, if we take control and if we put our foot down when things are wrong, we can definitely do that. We can definitely steer AI and publishing in the right direction so that we don't end up with chaos every day. When I was going through my channel, and looking at everything that happened last year, and obviously the growth that happened last year, because I just seriously couldn't believe that we hit 10K. It was so amazing. I was going through my videos and I was just like, oh my goodness, look at how many scandals and how much drama I reported on. And yeah, while, they were great videos, and I thank you guys for enjoying them and for engaging, it's just shocking to sit down and be like, oh my goodness, so much drama happened in 1 year. And the year started with drama, with the Fable drama. And I was hearing that there was other drama with like a book talker. There's just so much going on. I I definitely still have hope. I know you guys are sometimes like, oh, I've lost hope for this world. I've lost hope for certain people. I've lost hope for the literature industry. I still have hope, 100%. I hold out. I hold hope that things will get better, especially if we continue to speak out on issues like this, speak out on drama, speak out on scandal, to not get crushed by it, but to speak out and conquer it, literally to come over it. So yeah, AI, it definitely is interesting, but if we work hard and if we if we get ahead of it, because AI is still developing, as we've seen, so if we get ahead of it and ensure that there's proper governance as it's entering the market, as it's entering the world of literature, I think we can stop it from becoming something that's just absolutely violent and that we cannot control. But yeah, I'm very, very, yeah, I am, let's say, excited to see the future of literature with AI involved, but I am a bit wary of where we will go. But yeah, I am a bit excited because, like I said, I think this would definitely help indie authors because the world is hard out there. And I can't imagine having to do everything on your own. You wrote the book and you think you'd be done, but no, no, no. You have to proofread. You have to go through various edits. You have to then, format it. You then have to get a cover. You then have to find out how you're going to print it and ship it. You then have to, start marketing. It's a lot. And so if AI can help in any way, shape, or form, then I support that, but I want it done in a very ethical manner. Yeah, guys, that's it from me. This was a really, really fun topic to speak on. It's been one that's been on my mind for ages. So I'm really, really happy that we got to discuss it. Let me know what you guys think. Where do you stand when it comes to AI? Are you completely no, or are you no for circumstances like plagiarizing or writing an entire book with AI, like where I stand? So I'm not like, I do not agree with writing an entire book with AI, no, but I agree with helping with proofreading, helping with edits, helping literally, not doing the entire job. But let me know. Are you completely against it and you don't even want it to be doing that, or is there some leeway with you? And where do you think the future of literature is going to go? Do you think that we have a chance of getting ahead of any trouble with AI, and setting proper rules, proper governance in place, or do you think it's already a lost cause? Like, let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye.